DOOL explosion, Rita the reluctant spy, and Chanel accuses Johnny of attempted murder. EJ's dangerous game, secrets, schemes, and surveillance. EJ DiMera, played by Dan Feuerriegel, has always been a man who thrives on control, calculating, calm, and ruthlessly strategic. But now, he finds himself in a precarious position. Still recovering from being shot, an experience that only deepened his paranoia, EJ is haunted by a terrifying suspicion that his own son, Johnny, might have pulled the trigger. A scene, possibly captured on a controversial security feed or perhaps recalled in fragmented memory flashes, appears to show Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, inside the DiMera mansion, aiming a gun at EJ. The shot isn't fired on screen, but the implication torments EJ. Could his own flesh and blood have tried to kill him? Could the man he raised have crossed a line that can never be uncrossed? Instead of confronting Johnny directly. A move far too reckless for EJ's taste, the DiMera patriarch does what he does best, manipulate from the shadows. Rita Leslie, the reluctant spy to uncover the truth, EJ turns to Rita Leslie, Maggie Carney, a woman whose loyalty to EJ is unwavering, even if her moral compass wavers. Rita isn't just a confidant, she's a fixer, the kind of woman who can dig up dirt without ever dirtying her hands, and bury secrets so deep they're never found again. EJ assigns Rita a mission cloaked in ambiguity. Find out what Johnny's hiding. And if he's guilty, make it disappear. Whether that means erasing evidence, fabricating an alibi, or framing someone else remains unclear. What's certain is that Rita is now walking a razor-thin line between truth and deception, justice and allegiance. Rita's investigation plunges her into a rabbit hole of conflicting witness statements, tampered footage, and a whisper network surrounding the DiMera estate. Every clue seems to confirm EJ's worst fears. Yet something about the case doesn't fully add up. Could Johnny truly be innocent after all, or is there a darker player lurking in the shadows? Chanel's accusation, the breaking point. Meanwhile, tensions erupt between Johnny and his wife, Chanel Dupree DiMera, Raven Bowens. What begins as a heated discussion about parenting spirals into something far more devastating. In a moment that changes everything, Chanel drops a bombshell: she believes Johnny shot EJ. It's a heavy accusation. Chanel has been observing Johnny for weeks, his restlessness, his hesitation to move forward with adopting Tate and Sophia's baby, his late-night walks, and the haunted look in his eyes. To Chanel, it all adds up. She's no fool, and deep down, she believes Johnny is hiding something awful. Johnny, stunned and emotionally unraveling, denies it. He insists he's innocent, that yes, he had the gun in a moment of rage, but he didn't pull the trigger. I pointed the gun. But I never fired, he pleads, his voice trembling not with guilt, but with desperation. But Chanel isn't swayed. She sees a man slipping away from her, a man she once believed would be a strong father and loving husband. Now, she sees someone capable of patricide. A marriage on the brink. The fracture in Johnny and Chanel's marriage is undeniable. A once promising love story now lies cracked and fragile. Their dreams of building a family, adopting a child, and starting a new life together have been halted in their tracks. The tension around the adoption grows heavier. Chanel wonders if Johnny's resistance is less about fear of fatherhood, and more about fear of being exposed. Could he be trying to avoid becoming a father because he believes he'll be behind bars before the baby ever takes its first steps? And yet, a faint glimmer of hope lingers. Beneath the accusations and doubt, there's still love, a fierce, burning love that has survived scandal, loss, and betrayal. Chanel still wants to believe in Johnny. She wants to believe he's the man she fell in love with, not a murderer. But faith is fragile when the truth is elusive. The question now is, can love weather a storm this fierce? Can Johnny and Chanel rebuild what's been broken, or is the damage too deep? Who really pulled the trigger? As Rita keeps digging and Chanel's accusation spreads through Salem like wildfire, a disturbing truth begins to emerge on the horizon: Johnny might be innocent. The real shooter, the one who tried to end EJ's life, could still be out there, hiding in plain sight, shielded by layers of lies and manipulation. Could it be someone within the DiMera family, orchestrating a long-overdue coup? Or perhaps an outside enemy, a forgotten face with a long memory and a thirst for vengeance? And if EJ is wrong, if Johnny truly is innocent, will EJ's obsessive need for control be the very thing that destroys his own family? Next, as the sun set on Salem this fateful Friday, May 2nd, the quiet facades of its most powerful families began to crumble beneath the weight of secrets, betrayal, and emotional implosions. What started as just another day turned into a maelstrom of confrontations and startling revelations. Tensions flared, fists flew, and dreams blurred the lines between reality and memory. With love, guilt, anger, and hidden motives churning in every direction, Salem became a pressure cooker, threatening to explode at any moment. Let's dive into the drama, one unraveling story at a time. Tate's punch and Johnny's collapse. At the heart of Salem's youthful chaos stood Tate, brimming with righteous anger. The once promising plan to help Sophia place her baby for adoption had come crashing down, and Tate knew exactly who to blame: Johnny. Once seen as a stabilizing figure, Johnny's sudden decision to back out of the adoption blindsided everyone involved, especially Sophia. Her delicate condition didn't need added stress, yet Johnny's withdrawal sent emotional shockwaves through her system. Tate, overwhelmed by the situation and desperate to protect Sophia, did something drastic: he punched Johnny. It wasn't a fight for dominance, but a physical manifestation of frustration, betrayal, and heartache. Tate had believed in Johnny. He thought Johnny's commitment was genuine. And now, all he could see was a man who abandoned a young woman in crisis. Surprisingly, Johnny didn't retaliate. His reaction was subdued, mechanical almost. He simply stood there, absorbing the blow and offering a hollow apology. "I'm sorry," he muttered, words that sounded rehearsed, not heartfelt. It was as if Johnny wasn't really present at all. Sophia's pregnancy scare. While tensions escalated between the men, Sophia experienced a terrifying moment of her own. After the stress of the adoption fallout and Johnny's betrayal, she suffered a sudden health scare. Fearing the worst, she was rushed to be examined, her heart pounding with fear over the baby's safety. Thankfully, after a thorough checkup, the verdict came back: both she and the baby were safe, for now. But it was a wake-up call. Sophia realized just how fragile everything was: her health, her plans for the future, her sense of emotional security. She had thought she was doing the right thing. Now, uncertainty loomed over every decision she made. Rita versus Kristen, fire meets ice. Elsewhere in Salem, two strong-willed women faced off in a confrontation filled with veiled threats and sharp words. Rita, a woman with secrets of her own and questionable loyalty to EJ, clashed with Kristen, who has never been one to back down. What triggered their conflict remains murky, but the underlying tension was clear: neither woman trusts the other. Kristen's suspicions about Rita's true motives led to an icy exchange where every word was a calculated strike. Rita, perhaps holding more cards than Kristen realizes, stood her ground, unshaken and defiant. While no physical blows were exchanged, the emotional impact of their conversation was palpable. There was something brewing beneath Rita's calm surface, a secret she might not be able to keep much longer. Sarah's plea and Xander's inner war. In yet another part of town, Sarah found herself having to confront Xander. His growing resentment toward Philip was becoming dangerous. Xander, never known for his restraint, openly voiced a desire to get rid of Philip. The threat wasn't just casual venting, it had weight behind it. Sarah, determined to keep Xander from spiraling into darkness again, pleaded with him to reconsider. She reminded him of the progress he'd made, the family they were building, and the life they were trying to live. It was a tough conversation, one that revealed just how thin the line was between Xander's redemption and his old, violent self. In the end, Xander backed down, but the temptation lingered. Oddly enough, shortly after this, Xander approached Johnny with a surprising offer: a job at Titan DiMera. It was unexpected. Why offer Johnny a position in the very company caught in the crossfire of so many rivalries? Was it a trap? A test? Or a genuine attempt at redemption? The answer remains unclear. Brady and Kristen clash over Rachel in a more familiar battleground, parenting. Brady and Kristen's feud reignited once again. Their daughter Rachel, caught in the emotional tug-of-war between her parents, has been struggling. Brady, worried about Rachel's mental and emotional health, argued that she needed therapy. Kristen, predictably, pushed back. Their conversation quickly turned into a screaming match about what was best for their daughter. Brady pointed to Rachel's recent behavior, withdrawn, angry, and confused, as signs that something had to change. Kristen, however, saw therapy as a betrayal, a suggestion that they weren't doing their job as parents. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between. Belle's visit and EJ's haunting dream. The emotional core of the episode, however, belonged to EJ DiMera, a man grappling with shadows of his past, the fear of betrayal, and the very real possibility that his own son may have tried to kill him. Belle came to visit him, offering comfort and seeking clarity. EJ, more vulnerable than usual, revealed a portion of the truth. He confessed that a spy camera had been placed at the scene of the shooting and that it had since vanished. What he didn't say outright was that Rita had it, or that he himself had once pocketed the memory card containing potential evidence. Later, in Belle's arms, EJ drifted into sleep. And that's when the line between dream and reality began to blur. In his dream, EJ relived the night of the shooting. He saw himself finding the camera, removing the memory card, and putting it into his pocket, not into a drawer, as he'd previously said. Then, he turned, and saw Johnny. His son. Pointing a gun at him. EJ's voice trembled in the dream, "What are you doing?" And then came the gunshot. The scene faded. EJ awoke, disturbed. Was it a nightmare? Or a memory his mind had repressed, only now surfacing through his subconscious? The inconsistencies between his waking recollections and this dream raise haunting questions. Why did the dream feel so real? Why did it seem to correct the lies he told others, and perhaps even himself? Johnny, haunted or hollow? Meanwhile, Johnny, banished to the Salem Inn after his fallout with Chanel, wandered through his own emotional fog. Since the shooting, his behavior has shifted. He's become emotionally numb, robotic, detached from everything and everyone. Even after being punched by Tate, Johnny didn't erupt or defend himself. He barely reacted. It's as if a part of him is missing. Those closest to him have started noticing. There's an emptiness in his eyes. A silence where empathy once lived. And if he did shoot EJ, accidentally or otherwise, his current state may be a defense mechanism, a way to block out the unthinkable. Why hasn't anyone forced him to talk about it? Why hasn't he been in therapy? Because the truth is, Johnny is unraveling. And Salem may soon learn that what he's hiding could shake the DiMera family, and the entire town, to its core. Conclusion: A Salem on the Brink. This episode was not just a sequence of dramatic moments, it was a symphony of emotional instability, where each note struck deeper into the hearts of those involved. Salem is a town where secrets never stay buried, and where even dreams might hold the key to unlocking terrifying truths. What happens next? Will Sophia keep her baby? Will Johnny face his past? Will EJ confront the truth, or bury it further? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, peace in Salem is no longer an option. The storm is coming.